Within 3 years, we will see Cletus McFarland lined up on the grid at Daytona 500.
I just enjoyed watching Carson get into everyone.
Yeah, me watching on the couch, I do not care how hard he makes your job. In fact, the harder he makes it, the funner it is for me to watch. Imagine sitting next to Shane and Ronald on the plane.
It'd be the worst.
It'd be funny as that. I'd love it.
Just two big rock apes right next to you.
Don't call Ronald a rock ape.
Oh no! He's in the fence! The boat's in the fence! They're all in the fence! Oh, unbelievable!
Sound check.
Sound check.
Cheers, Barbs.
Cheers, Big Ears.
118, mate. I can't believe we've made it this far, and we're back now for a Talladega debrief.
Dega.
Carson Hocevar.
The Hurricane.
Carson Hocevar got the dub. Mate, honestly, one of the best wins at that event you could see. Like, iconic circuit, and that driver is at the moment garnered the fan base of the likes of Dale Sr. and everyone else, and obviously with his friendship with Cletus as well. Like, that's just a fan favourite, that win, I think. Yeah,
I think he copped a lot of slack off the fans early on for being aggressive, but I think now people, I know people compare him to Dale Sr. I'm not going to compare him, but people like that, we've seen over the years, those enforcers, those aggressive drivers do cop a bit of flack, and then everyone starts to love them. And I think we're starting to see that. It's funny because we were actually we weren't in a cab, I was actually driving, but we were coming home from the airport. You were watching on your phone Monday morning, and we said before we departed ways, the race was still going, we said, wouldn't it be good if Hocevar got a win?
Yeah.
And then I just got a text. I popped out of a meeting, I got a text, and you've just gone, the Hurricane. And I've gone straight on the app, and I was like, I need to watch it.
Had you not seen the win yet?
No, I was just waiting, and then I watched it after that.
Yeah, I literally did just send the Hurricane. He just, I don't know, the start of doing this podcast when we were really getting into NASCAR, I mean, obviously we'd said a few times that you're a big fan of NASCAR with your uncle running stock cars back in the day. Your family heavily involved with them here in Australia, but also, you were very interested in Cup Series. And then I'd watched bits and pieces of it, but obviously racing myself, hadn't really got too much into it. And then when we started doing the podcast and with Shane going over, got right into it. And early, I'm like, I just enjoyed watching Carson get into everyone. And
He's exciting.
He's exciting. I even said to Shane, I'm sure racing him, you might not be a fan, but as a spectator and as a fan of the sport, I think he brings so much entertainment to it. It's great. I'm not competing against him, so I don't care if he runs into people. Yeah,
me watching on the couch, I do not care how hard he makes your job. In fact, the harder he makes it, the funner it is for me to watch. So he is very exciting to watch. So that was cool. He had an amazing victory celebration.
He did.
What were your thoughts on that, Scotty?
That's the question. Who did it better, SVG or Carson? Who would you go with?
I thought he did a bit of a mix. I reckon he's been watching some old school supercars, and I reckon he did a bit of a crossbreed between Russell Ingall's championship Burnout in 09 with his head out the door, and I think it was 09, and Shane's Adelaide Burnout when he was on the roof. So
09, wouldn't it have been like 05? You mean Russell Ingall?
So yeah, maybe 04, 05 would have been 05. Yeah. So I'm tthinking Rick Kelly was 09, I think.
No idea, but I don't think it was Russell.
Russell's championship Burnout, God knows when it was, at some stage. Stage in the early 2000s.
I think you're right, though. It looked very much like a hybrid, wasn't it?
Yeah, I reckon he sort of did a bit of a crossover between the two. So I think it was cool. But then I was listening today to Denny's pod. Was it Denny's pod? One of the pods anyway. And it's actually quite smart because the fans got to see him as well. Like
100%,
we talk about how much, without sounding like an absolute cock, how much more you get recognised now since doing the pod and YouTube versus when you're racing full time, because rarely they would see you with your helmet off.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. Yeah, it is.
The odd interview or whatever, but now we're doing thousands of hours a week of YouTube or whatever. People just see you and they recognise you. And they were saying it's very clever because that the footage of that victory, Burnout celebration, whatever you want to call it, will be on the highlight reel all year. And it's his head, it's his face.
Yep.
So his stocks have instantly gone up. People are going to recognise him.
Yeah, every shot of that Burnout, like you say, is Carson's face being plastered all around. I imagine it's gone around ESPN and everything, but World News would have picked that up. It is funny, though. Like, put in the comments who you think wins the best Burnout. A few people have already put in our Patreon, SVG. SVG/Ingle for the win. You got to pick one. You can't just pick all of them.
Do you know what I will say? I will give Shane props. His was a little bit more elegant, the way they nudged it into the wall. Did you, Carson just like
Yeah.
Like he was still doing like probably 5 mile an hour when it like leant up against what looked like bent the front up.
I do think though, because he started the burnout. He said he started the driving without the wheel on. The only way he could get it moving was without the wheel on.
I thought he was going to get the other fence.
Yeah, and he said that was when he was trying to put the wheel on. And he said at that moment he was like, I think I'm going to shunt this before I've even managed to start the burnout. But he got it turned. So I think once he had the wheel on, the only option he had was to crash it or like take the wheel off and get back in and just stop.
Yeah, he couldn't. Yeah, he obviously couldn't get his foot down.
So he'd always, I imagine, wanted to do the burnout up against the wall. So he's probably just thought it's the only way. But as he went up there, he actually got thrown a fair way forward too. Like it could have gone wrong real fast.
It could have been.
Because when you jump out of a race car, you've been doing 200 mile an hour for that long. You almost think you're stationary, and then you hit something, and you're like, "Holy shit! You're still doing 5 mile an hour. Like it's a big impact."
Yeah, it could have gone real bad.
I'm going to go with Carson because I think the difficulty of doing it with the wheel, because we've seen those cup cars and how hard they are to get into, and I think Shane's was amazing that he could get on the roof and do that. I don't think you could do that in the cup because you'd have to wedge the throttle and get up on the roof. But I think credit to Carson having the balls to start driving without the wheel on it, put it back on and then continue and then crash it knowing he couldn't do it if he stopped and then just flooring it. And he didn't even turn it off. He just let the clutch out. Like he would have just stopped the throttle and let it stall. So I think everything there is like this compromise and he nailed it.
And I also think Shane's was we know it was premeditated. He'd already talked to his mechanic about where he was going to wedge the boot and like he knew he was going to win the championship. So he had time to plan that. Carson, probably that was all off the cuff, I reckon. Didn't have time to – I'm sure he's probably thought about what he would do when he wins the cup race maybe, but so it was all on the fly. So it was cool though. I loved it.
Yeah.
People are like hurling water bottles and shit at him. It's like hitting the car.
He tried to catch the beer.
Oh, was it a beer?
It was a beer, yeah.
Okay. I just thought it was really cool.
It was good. But yeah, so I'm going to go Carson. I've picked Carson. Let us know in the comments who you choose. And then quick honourable mention to Cletus McFarland. He got second in the ARCA race. He almost won it. So we've added a slide into this doc as well later on tonight. We're going to get into kind of just chat about the marketing genius that is Cletus McFarland and how he's actually achieving what he is. But also, yeah, I think that the link up between Cletus and Carson is only going to bear fruits for both of those guys. More so Cletus right now because of the size of Cletus's following. But I think Carson's going to benefit massively. But both of them, I think, just have it's showing that Hocevar's personality is more out there than at first. Like at first, when he was saying he doesn't really have any mates, keeps to himself, just goes racing and plays when he sim. I think Cletus is showing that there's another side to him. He is actually a bit out there. He is doing more content. He was with iShow Speed. He did some stuff on a live stream with him. So I think from the first Dale Jr. interview I saw with him, there is more to him. He's more fun than you would think. So I think the relationship between those two is actually working for him.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And then Shane almost, he nearly made it to the flag. What would have been like P7.
He was running well.
Massive.
In fact, late there, Carson was actually behind him. Shane was actually in front of Carson.
Yeah, well, he passed him in the end of stage 2.
Not many laps to go really of the race left. So it just goes to show car speed is king.
Yeah.
And car speed allowed Carson to get back to the front, and Shane probably just obviously struggled a little bit with the car speed.
Well, I didn't know how he did though, because Shane passed him at the end of stage 2, and then when it reset after this caution, Carson came off the front.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what happened in the pit stop cycle, because then Shane was 18th.
I think
Shane
was a few banged
14th,
up cars though, so maybe they were taping shit and maybe they're a bit slow in the lane.
Yeah, on Shane's car.
Yeah.
Because he was ahead, but then, Carson started off the front for the final stage and then kind of never gave it up. Quick thoughts on so we're going to get into NASCAR, a couple of updates there, and Dega, of course, we'll debrief that. But thoughts on AASA. We just went to the High-Tech Oil Short Track Nationals on the weekend at Sydney Motorsport Park. What's your takeaway?
Loved it. Thought the racing was awesome. Probably the best event I've been to from a competitor's point of view. Obviously wasn't competing, but as far as just bang for buck, value for money, laps turned.
Yep.
How many green flag laps there was bugger all safety cars. I don't think anything finished under a yellow. I thought from that point of view it was awesome.
Yeah, they've introduced a little buffer so they can always have overtime if they need it. Green-white checker is their plan so that everyone gets to finish under the green, which is what even the fans want. No one wants their race finished under caution. We saw Formula Ford, I was commentating, and during it we mentioned how fast the safety car driver was going in the final race on Sunday. And I think that the safety car, we've talked about with supercars, it's underestimated how important a quality safety car driver is. We had a really great chat with Carl Reindler actually about the intent behind their practice laps as the F1 medical driver and safety car driver. The fact they're timed and they've got to be within a certain time. And then also, even for the medical driver, practicing, simulating incidents at different flag points across the weekend to make sure that the officials are up to scratch. But I think that Motorsport Australia are underestimating at the moment whoever's doing it in supercars, the safety car and the safety car driver need to be faster and maybe more qualified. Because the Formula Ford race, they had issues. They gave it an extra lap before starting the race to clean off some debris into the last sector, which was just some rocks and shit, the cement dust out for oil.
Yeah.
But that thing was blazing, dude, which helped because it was cold at track temp as well. So the Formula Fords could actually, it was night racing, They could get some tyre temp, and they also cleaned off the track. And then they brought the race under control really early going into turn 1. They had a full lap to gather the field up so that when the safety car pulls off, it's not still trying to gather the field and they can get a good race start. So a lot of the comms is coming from the tower, and you've got Marcus and the team up there doing that, which have all raced. But I was impressed with the quality of the driver behind the safety car. The safety car's pace itself wasn't bad. And then the way they controlled it to get the race start correct under a rolling start procedure, which has been, like, even in supercars, not really executed that well. I remember, like, Melbourne Grand Prix having 3 corners to go and we're still trying to get the field together to start.
I think that's the important thing too of having a quality safety car. We got to drive the pace car, and they call theirs a pace car, but it's a i30N, and that thing's like pretty rapid for a road car. Where, like, we've seen in the past, a Commodore or a dual cab Ute or something to the safety car. And it's just like they're probably doing their best, but things doing 85k an hour. And I think there's a couple of things. But yeah, definitely the tower bit to be able to say increase speed to 140. Like when it went past us when you were commentating the Formula Fords, he would have been doing $150 down the straight.
He was hooking,
and they were all with him. And everyone's there doing the high speed weaving, which is able, to your point, mate, they're able to generate decent temp.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's definitely a change. Things like that I think, Morris mentioned it today on a video, like people are starting to take notice of the little things, the 1%ers that they're doing, but you put 20 of them together, it's a big chunk. So I think from that way it ran really well. Saw not many, but there was a couple of accidents in the races that I was calling, and, man, their recoveries were quick too.
Yeah.
We had 2 cars go in separate incidents, crash off the turn 4-5 section into the concrete wall on the right of the hairpin there, and like 2-3 minutes, a car that had the front ripped off was gone, moving, they were back underway. So yeah, recoveries were awesome. I think everyone there did, to be honest, a stellar job. So I can't really fault it. Yeah,
I think as well, it's good that there is a bit of a competition between, whether they're intending or not, between AASA and Motorsport Australia. In every industry, there's got to be a level of competition. I think it's amazing for both then to try and compete, and only because I see then the competitor would win, which then in turn would reward the fans as well with good quality racing. So I think seeing AASA actually put their hand in their pocket and put that prize money up, like Marcus said, it wasn't easy to get that money together so that there was actually prize money. They've also got a free round at Tasmania in the Aussie racing cars for
which TFH have put up. So they've backed it and said, yep, you can race our Aussie car, we'll pay for that to try and sweeten the pot.
And so I think that's the largest prize pool in Australian motorsport and circuit racing.
Has to be in I said when we were commentating, I said, I reckon since the 90s and the Thunderdome, when Bob Jane used to put up big prize money for all the Auscar NASCAR competitors, I reckon that was the last time we've seen a prize pool come close to this.
Yeah. And then even the freedom that we had across the weekend, like Marcus said, would you like to take some of your Patreon members for hot laps if they're here? So a couple of days before the event, we were able to put out a post on Patreon, and we're like, Marcus has just said during the event, there's some quiet time, like when they have dinner, the officials come off track for dinner. Do you want to take the pace car? And we had 4 or 5 of our members there that night that jumped in the car and got to come for a lap. I've never once been offered to take fans or anyone for a course car ride in the middle of a race weekend while the officials are having dinner. It's just such a great way to engage. It's like the freedom it really impressed me. And of course, there's no, you and I both race. It's not like they're giving it to someone that's irresponsible and not licensed or qualified. So there's no real risk. I feel like at a lot of those events when we're there, just to pick the phone up and go, hey, you guys are here, do you want to take someone for a lap and just talk about the racetrack to them is a great fan engagement. And it was free to attend.
Yeah, exactly.
There's just a few things that, it's cool that
And it had that real Speedway vibe to it. You mentioned it a couple of times throughout the Saturday and Sunday nights, Scotty, and agree with you. Like, I love night racing anyway. I just think it looks cooler, is cooler. But, yeah, definitely had that. There was literally never nothing on track.
Yep.
And even in the dinner break, you could watch you and I bang around in the I-30N with some Patreon members. So there's still always something on track.
Yep. And it's no, like it's nothing against Motorsport Australia. They're also doing equally good. But I think it's cool now that there's someone doing it so different that you go, oh, okay, like they should look over and go, what could we do to spice things up and try and give back to the competitor or reward the fans that are attending the events? And then, I think it's only going to make both products better at the end of the day.
Yeah, and you mentioned, I think before we went live, to our Patreon members that are joining us tonight, live in the comments, that being on Clay-Per-View, the TV costs are so much lower, so they can do things like that. Free entry. Entries aren't $5,000 a pop. They're maybe $500, $600, if that. You get 11 races for that. So I think even just how they're doing their TV package through a streaming service in Clay-Per-View was a nice change as well.
Yep. Hunters, I just want to take a moment to thank one of our fantastic supporters, Shaw & Partners Financial Services. Shaw & Partners are a leading national investment advice and wealth management firm. They act for and on behalf of individuals, institutions, corporates, charities, and family offices. So, if you're looking for advice or assistance with investments or strategies, look no further than Shaw & Partners Financial Services. With a 35-year history and 8 offices strategically placed all over Australia, their financial advisors are within reach and ready to provide tailored solutions and advice. For more information, follow the link in the description of this podcast. Back to the show. So NASCAR's new CEO, Steve O'Donnell, and it is wild that he is the first non-France family CEO in NASCAR's history, which has to be a good thing. I think some independents, and I wonder if it's off the back of what's happened with Michael Jordan and the case that they've won there to try and show that there is some independence maybe from the France family and their interests, and focusing on, he said that at the moment he's going to go in and listen first. He's not going to be just throwing haymakers to transform the sport immediately, but he's going to focus on long-term growth, 2030 being the vision. Focus on making NASCAR more fun again, which I wonder how he would do that. Like, I wonder what his plan would be around that, because I think they're doing a good job. We looked at their promo in the lead up to the season. I thought they did a really good job with all that. And also then he's going to work closer with teams, drivers and fans, which is why I think it's probably a cool thing that he's stepped up as CEO and isn't part of the France family.
Yeah. What they need to do, the first thing he needs to do is piss off that electric NASCAR cars that they've been testing with and stuff. Don't even think about it.
I don't think they are.
Well, they've built these things and they're testing them a lot.
They've been had them for ages, though.
Yeah.
They first tested them like years ago.
Yeah, but they're still testing them quite a lot, which to me, like NASCAR they would lose all.
Go burn them.
They would lose 95% of their fan base in the first 2 seconds of that announcement. So I'm sure they won't, but I mean, you may as well just sell them. You don't need them. So that's all I'm saying.
You probably can't sell them.
Give them away.
Deal done for Reddick, multi-year extension with 23-11. No brainer, really. I mean, he's won 5 of the first 9 races. Obviously, he's been 10 now, but absolutely dominating the season so far. I think he's put a lot of pressure on Bubba. We don't know how long the deal is for. We know it's a long-term deal. And the announcement
very coy on that, aren't they, mate? As in, like,
I always wonder why that is. Like, Penske said we weren't allowed to ever say how long our deals were.
Yeah, even tonight I was listening to Denny's pod and they mentioned that, and he just said, "Yep, no, he's never mentioned a number or."
It's got to be something to do with the renegotiation.
Must be a clause or something. Yeah.
No, I mean other teams knowing when they can approach you, because in my contract with Penske, it literally said you're not allowed to mention to anyone how many number of years you've signed for.
Right.
And then you have a date which you're allowed to then engage other teams if you're looking to go elsewhere.
Well, that'd be why, probably to your point, mate, it'll be to stop people poaching.
Yeah. So they can't go, oh, he's only got 1 year left of his contract, let's go talk to him.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk to him 9 months out from that or something. Or
maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, I'm literally guessing. I don't know.
No, but that would make sense.
Yeah.
We're running with it.
Yeah. And then on broadcast, they said like 9 million was the guess, which would be cool. And I did like...
That'd be plus like prize and bonus. So that'd be base.
Yeah. Harvick didn't say... I don't think it was Harvick that said it. He goes, but I don't know how much they're getting paid, but the houses aren't getting smaller.
Yeah, so I heard that.
So they're obviously doing well. But you're right. I'm sure bonuses are on top of that. When you're winning like he is at the moment, you'd be pretty stoked if you're...
Like if you win 5 in a season, you're going to add a couple of mil in just bonus.
Flynn Johnson has said, is that the electric SUV thing for the junior series? Yeah, they were talking about it for the O'Reilly series.
I don't care what they're talking about for. They need to go now.
That is true.
Put them in the bin. I don't want juniors driving electric stuff either.
Yeah, that's true. As we're about to get into Talladega and wrap that up, if you haven't already, please hit subscribe. Okay, it's like 50, 60% of our viewers aren't subscribed. So
Why?
So if you can, hit the like button and tap subscribe. And if you'd like any of our merch to support us as well, it means the world. The link will be in the description of the podcast to our website, apexhuntersunited.com.
Yeah, this is one of the new shirts too.
Yeah, we've done a few different things for the merch. So
Lovely.
lovely.
Thanks,
That's good.
Scott.
So yeah, check out our website and please subscribe if you can support us. All right, Dega.
Yeah, SVG. He was in a top 10 posse coming to the line like he could see. It's just there.
I know. We go straight into Shane because he's a good mate of ours. I mean, it's great Carson won, but
Yeah.
we were really going for Shane.
And our fans want to know what SVG's up to too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was hopeful that I was like, we even said that more. I was like, love him to get another top 10 just to help with the points, the way that the new chase format's working and things like that. He obviously started the year really well, running top 5 in points, and he's had a couple of shockers since. So it'd be nice to do that. And it was looking like it was going to happen, mate.
Well, Chase Elliott, he was right on the rear bar of him coming to the line. Chase finished 4th.
Yeah.
And it was Chase, then Shane, and Chase went to the left, and Shane
Got caught.
Unfortunately, old mate with the tank slapper come back down and took him out. So yeah, Chase made it through. Shane didn't. But when you look back, you're like, fuck, it's just one of those moments that could have been a 5th or a 6th, even a 7th, which is unreal. I mean,
Even a 10th would have been
clean
good
day
points.
to have survived everything that went on. So disappointing not to see him get the result. And it was a 27G shunt. He sent us the vision this morning of it.
Yeah.
Pretty scary. Like the onboard in slow-mo, first one he sent was at high speed and you're like, oh, yeah, it's, your usual wreck. Then the slow-mo he sent, the seat is flexing so far when he gets hit. And he said the last one when he got hit, so he got hit, he had the big hit, the first one, and then got hit again. And he said he had already relaxed in the car thinking it was over when someone hit him. So he woke up today feeling pretty sore.
Yeah, it surprised me. He said he was feeling it today. But yeah, it's just, I mean, they have said those cars are so well constructed, so strong that the organic space in the middle, the soft gooey bit, is what's getting rattled a bit. So glad he's all right. But yeah, disappointing for Shane because, yeah, well, obviously us and probably everyone else in Australia and New Zealand was hoping he'd have a belter.
Yeah, yep. And then Hocevar restarted 15th after the big wreck, which then Shane actually got him. So that was at the end of stage 1.
Everyone barring 4 cars were in that, weren't they?
Yeah, that's what it was at the time, yeah.
Yeah.
Which was crazy. Like, I can't believe how many actually ended up still finishing the race with decent cars. Like, that shows, to your point, how strong the cars are.
Yeah.
Because they were, like, I mean, Reddick as well. Even when he had the tyre failure, got back out.
He still finished 14th after that. After his tyre blew and he hit the fence that hard, like that looked like it was probably 20G. And then he still rolled it across the line 14th.
And when you see him hit the wall like that, that has to go through your body. Like you said, when it's that hard, because we spoke to James Small, he was saying when the first car came out, they had concussion issues and they had to weaken the chassis, so they actually had crumple zones in them because the first gen, the first iteration of this next gen car was so stiff that the driver, like you said, the organic spacer
just getting smashed.
was getting smashed. So even still, when they hit those Tech Pro barriers, Reddick's thing was, like, I cannot believe it survives it. I know the guards, they protrude their wheels a fair bit so that they don't interlock at all on the speedways, but
he was
still would get to the wheels.
Reddick was a lot luckier than Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs had the same thing happen, and that tore the front out of it. So I think where it happened for Ty, it actually got up into maybe where the safer barrier isn't.
Right.
And I think Reddick, to your point, was lucky, mate, that he did hit the safer barrier and was able to press on. But Gibbs's was big.
Gibbs was
he would have felt that because he just, as most people know, it's the angle that you hit the wall on.
Yeah.
That can make a big difference. So he was like that.
Yeah.
You know.
What about, I do laugh, they're all about sponsors and every opportunity to like stick another sticker somewhere. Gibbs only has Ty on his windscreen banner. Did you notice that? On his visor strip?
Yeah, I saw I think he had Monster in the very corners, but just had Ty really small here. And then I think in the far corner,
he might have had it on the side, but from the front, the only thing you could see was Ty.
Maybe it's on his helmet, the Monster thing, and maybe it is just blanket Ty. Yeah, I did actually
on
notice
that as well.
Yeah,
like Americans, they're so across their marketing, and then he has Ty. Like, how much is Ty paying you for that?
Well, he would have valued it at a certain amount, and Monster didn't come to the party, obviously. Yeah, I don't know.
It's clear, but then they'd go, well, it's clearly not valued what you thought it was.
Well, yeah, if you put your own name there, but I guess he owns the space.
It's kind of like showing you a car. A terrible bluff.
Maybe.
He's like, I think it's worth $100,000. Put my name on it. Yeah. And then, what were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say what you're probably going to say, but lap 181, Stenhouse gave Hocevar a bit of a nudge, which then sent poor old Eric Jones just an awkward bump, hooked Hocevar left, and he just wiped out Jonesy and off he went.
I felt bad for Eric Jones because he'd been having a really solid day as well.
Those Toyotas getting fast with Legacy too. They got Jimmy Johnson there working on the program.
Yep.
The Toyotas have been really dominant this year.
You said that on the way back from the airport when we were watching. You're like, I think these Legacy cars are going to be one to watch.
I think they'll come good eventually for sure. Like, and I've got no reason to know why, but I just think, guys like Jimmy Johnson, I'm sure he's got a lot of knowledge and will be able to drive a team forward.
Yeah, for sure. I couldn't believe that Hocevar didn't wreck in that moment.
Yeah, good save.
Like at that speed.
Well, I mean, Jones was the reason why he didn't ride it.
Yeah, it saved him, but still had like a fair old save after that. And lucky for Eric Jones, he didn't go down into the wall because he kept it off. Obviously, got stuck on the grass. But the big wreck at 105, though, winding the clock back, 26 plus cars involved. I did laugh at, I think it was on Stacking Pennies as well, they were talking about, it wasn't Stacking Pennies, that's where I watched it, and they're talking about Joey Logano with he's got his visor up, whatever, his glasses, and he's just going, hook it up, boys, hook it up, and the thing's got wheels pointing in a different direction everywhere, and he still wants to try and get going. Like, mate, that car was totaled.
Yeah, get out of it.
Yeah, I think your day is done. But it's probably because the cars are so strong, they're like, no, I would survive that.
Well, they probably don't know. Yeah, they probably can't tell.
Because they're having that big a hit, and then they're like, really? I can keep driving? Okay.
Yeah.
So now they're just like...
They look outside, just scratch the sticker. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I could have another go. But what did you think? So Bubba owned a lot of it. He said it's probably 50-50, but so Chastain pulled from the bottom lane into the middle. Middle lane had a run, and then Bubba covered it off, but I think then it checked everyone up. And that much momentum, you couldn't stop. So Bubba got tapped in the rear.
Was it Stenhouse that got him? I can't remember now. Who
Chastain.
It was Chastain that got Bubba.
Chastain was in the middle.
Yeah.
And then he got jinked right, and then it was Stenhouse, I think.
He was trying to block Stenhouse or something. Whoever was
trying to block Chastain.
Chastain, yeah.
But yeah, that's people thought, because he went from the middle, from the bottom, him and Chastain on the bottom.
Yeah.
Chastain pulled up to the middle.
Yeah.
And then Bubba blocked him and then got hit, turned him sideways, and he went across in front of Stenhouse, and that's when the big...
Yeah, sorry, Stenhouse was up top. Yeah.
But he wasn't, I don't think he was trying to... He literally just got turned in front. In the middle lane and then went to the right.
Yeah, see, I thought...
Hocevar was in the middle pushing.
I thought maybe he was trying to block the momentum of the top. And then I didn't really think too much about it from Bubba's point of view. But then I also heard on one of the pods tonight too that where the haulers run over the track is a bump there.
Yep.
And they thought that was exactly where they all sort of like... So whether that helped make it look... Or help send him further, or the bump was an awkward bump, obviously. So whether it was, there was obviously contributing factors. If Bubba's owned half of it, he's obviously checked the lane up.
Yeah,
and they're a freight train. Like when they got momentum, they're coming, and like you see it, they can come from miles back, and there's just so much more momentum when they get going. So you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, and it was quite a long time after Chastain moved for him to go and block Chastain after he'd already taken the lane. And then he went, I'll come with you and block you. And then he got turned. And you're like, I don't think, had he just stayed on because Eric Jones was the next car behind him, I think. And the bottom lane just cruised through like the first, they were the 4 cars pretty much that made it through. And I think that's where Bubba was like, maybe I could have done something different.
Well, it's probably early enough in there's still so much racing to go that you don't need to get involved at lap 105.
Yeah.
So that's probably where he's like, oh, maybe I didn't need to even block. Like maybe I just let the other train run back and I end up 5th on the next lap, and then I'll work my way back over the next 68 laps or whatever was left, 78 laps.
And it wasn't like the bottom lane didn't have any energy behind it or any car. Like it was still a solid lane. So I don't think, I think even changing at that point anyway.
But it was big. Took everyone but 4 cars out, essentially.
Yeah.
Like they were caught up in it. Obviously didn't take any other race.
Yeah,
but
being the leader just wrecked everyone.
Yeah.
Now, it does raise the concerns, though, with the drafting. So apparently this car, the old gen car used to create a bubble between the 2 cars, so you never really needed to make contact. It would force the pressure would push the car in front of you forward, whereas this one now, they're saying it's like 2 bricks. Blaney said it best. He said it's like pushing 2 basketballs against each other. It's not going to push great. It's 2 bricks against each other. It's frustrating. So I think getting the car in front is getting so unstable, and they're having to actually just ram them. So I don't know what they're going to do about it, but the drivers are requesting a revision of it because on the super speedways they're saying the drafting is. Blaney said in these cars you're just ramming the car in front, and at that speed's not good.
Yeah, so they're producing far more drag than the previous car, and I think that also creates the style of racing where again, I'll reference Danny. He was saying that you just can't get anywhere. And I think that's what's causing, because there's so much drag, if you get out of the momentum, that's what they'll do these late blocks, because they know if they don't, they're rooted.
Yep.
Because the cars are so draggy. So I think there's multiple reasons as to why, but they definitely do something about it.
Yeah.
Because they've increased the horsepower by 150 horsepower on some of these tracks, and they're going slower still. So that shows you how much drag there is. And he also said with the fuel saving, it's shit because you can sit behind someone doing the same speed.
20% throttle.
Yeah. And so they're just doing all this fuel saving craps going on. You can't push properly. It's creating strange accidents, I guess is the best way, or dodgy accidents. So I think they need to do it. I think, if they need to drop the horsepower again, then they could do that. But I just reckon leave the horsepower. Well, take the drag off them and just let them haul ass.
Well, Larson said he did a half test day, and then they said, "What do you think about the new horsepower?" And he didn't realise they had it. Well, he said, "I actually didn't know we had more horsepower in that car. Like I didn't know I was on the upgraded package."
Yeah.
So they've clearly got too much of something.
And I don't know, but I could be wrong. But I would have thought it would be far more expensive for the OEMs to go and change horsepower packages than it would to take drag off the car. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because they've got to build so many motors.
I don't know. I mean, whatever they need to do, though, to create this bubble between them, because Traymon's putting out comments as well, it did used to be faster to air push than bump, whereas now you can't. It has to be contact almost, and that's why they ram each other. Like Blaney again said, you're just ramming through the guy in front of you. You have to be very precise with how you lift and drag the brake to get them to touch you gently. There's no bubble at all. It's just running through people. You're trying to take care of the person in front of you, and it's hard to do. We're all just on top of each other, and that's what you get when you're all on top of each other. Talking about the crash at 105, I think that's the thing. When one person has to check up, because when Bubba moved over, the lane checked up. There's no air bubble between them. It's immediate contact, and he's turned.
Well, don't forget, mate. That's why Toyota went from the Supras to the Camry bodies, because it was a flatter nose, so they could push. Because they were having dramas when they were going to this new car. They knew it'd be a problem. They couldn't run the same models that they're running like they still are now.
Right, I didn't know that.
O'Reilly series is still the super body, but they needed a flatter nose so they could push better, because they were getting all these awkward bumps and pushes, and it was just causing. So that's why they're quite flat.
Yeah, okay. Let us know in the comments what you guys think of it as well. I thought it was good for Bubba to own. He said the issue's 50-50 between driver mistake and the cars not being able to push or push well, but he took responsibility for not anticipating well enough, allowing Chastain's lane to get a big run.
Yes, we'll get him for doing that. Feel for him a bit, because he's definitely under pressure from Reddick.
Yeah, you do feel for him, but then at the same time, had he just stayed in his lane, it's still...
So you don't feel for him is what you're saying?
No, I feel for him, because every driver, when you know they're under pressure like that,
they sometimes make
those decisions, and you think it's a shit feeling to be you've just seen your teammate win 5 of the 9, get a contract renewal, and you're probably thinking, fuck, when's it my turn? And then the reason I don't necessarily feel sorry in that instance is he made the wrong. In hindsight, made the wrong call, but that is motorsport.
It is, mate.
I hope you're enjoying this episode, but I do have to interrupt just quickly to thank our fantastic supporters that allow us to create the content for you. East Coast Car Rentals. If you're in the market for a rental car, think of those guys. And if you'd like a cheeky 15% discount, AHU15 is the discount code there for 15% off. If you're in the market to buy a car, not rent one, Lancaster Motor Group, we've got you covered for new or used cars. So think Lancaster Motor Group. Back to the show.
Stage results. Stage 1, Ryan Preece, BK, Logano, Busher, Blaney, Berry in 6th, Tyler Reddick 7th, Noah Gregson in 8th, Todd Gilliland in 9th, and Ross Chastain in 10th.
Actually, Gregson had a pretty solid event. And then stage 2, Chastain got the dub, which was actually pretty impressive, because they thought he was out too far and he still hung on. So that was cool.
10 points to win the stage.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's 10 down to 1, obviously, across the stages. And in this season, being top 16 stage points actually matter a lot, because there's not a lot of field spread in points as well. So Seabell 2nd, Busher 3rd, Stenhouse Jr., another one that flies under the radar, finished up P4, Gilliland, Preece, Ware, Bowman, Elliott and Smith, P10. Shane didn't get in the 10, but he did.
Cody Ware.
He was very close.
Cody Ware grabbing 4 stage points. Good on you.
Oh, yeah.
I saw him late, and he was running top 5 or 6. I thought, what is going on? There you go. Well done.
And then the final results. So Carson Hocevar got the dub ahead of Chris Buescher, Bowman, Chase Elliott. Seeing that one is the frustrating one because Shane was right in the back of him. Then it was Zane Smith, Ricky Stenhouse, P6. That's why I say it is, he does seem to fly under the radar a little bit because he's been getting some solid results. Chastain 7th, Cindric 8th, which is crazy because he was one of the cars in that shunt, in that big one, that 105 wreck. Noah Gragson again 9th. So he was there in the stage and at the end. Kyle Busch, P10. Suarez again had another pretty solid day, P12.
Spire car, mate.
Reddick, after shunting, having a tyre failure, finishes up 14th, and Denny Hamlin was 15th after, we didn't even mention at the start, your boy broke the sound barrier coming in the pit lane. He was hooking along that fast.
Done speeding.
Shane
got done speeding too, actually.
On the first green flag stop.
Yeah.
So there was, I think, 4 penalties in the first round of green flag stops, and Shane was one of those, I think.
Yep.
So, it must be hard, though. I was thinking coming down off there under green the first time, for a pit stop, considering there's no practice. There's no pit entries they do prior to that one.
That was the thing. Obviously, Pratt Qual was called off, and they just run a light system. So it's not like supercars where you hit a button. It's like you're just trying to watch your lights. It's the same. We actually run the same in the Trans Am, and I sometimes play around in a session and try and maximise your entries and stuff and whatever. Yeah. And it's actually hard. With just the lights, it's actually hard to be bang on 39k an hour, which is for us. Yeah. It's actually really hard. So yeah, as you say, they're coming off a bank at 300k an hour, and they've got to get down to, 100k an hour?
100 probably, yeah.
Yeah, I think it is 60 mile per hour, I think they are. Just with lights. So
with cold brakes.
Yeah, with brakes that haven't been used much. And so it is far harder than what probably people can appreciate. So
what about Austin Cindric as well, missing his stop? I felt bad for him.
Had to go again.
3 wide in the lane they were.
Well, they entered at 5. They were 5 going in, and then they got to 3, and then he just got Dick Supreme and then had to run around. I thought that would be the worst feeling.
Yeah, I felt bad for him, having to run through on a green flag stop. Yeah, it's pretty gutting. But he did well, though, to finish where he did in P8.
Yeah.
And then, Shane ended up finishing P20 as he just ploughed the cars across the line to finish. Cody Ware, 21st. I was a bit disappointed for Zilich. He was right towards the pointy end when there was that big wreck. He was actually having a good run, but that's what meant he was in it so bad. There was no opportunity for him to get out of it.
Yeah.
Shane's spotter, Josh Williams, make a job, I thought, in that wreck to get, I'm assuming it's his call, but you could see straight away the guys, Denny was one as well, even though he still got caught up, but he was so early to get out of it. The moment there was, they must read I think he was telling us how they read the energy. You can see it when it's going to happen. Because Shane crossed 2 lines and went to the bottom and tried to give a gap to the car in front and kind of got out of it almost unscathed.
Yeah.
So I think that's the spotters that you got to give credit to there, and obviously the drivers, but they're always listening.
Yeah.
But to see a wreck that far up and be able to react as quick, there was a few cars that could have been a lot worse without their spotters being on the money.
Yeah, the job that all the spotters do is amazing. Yeah. It's like we set up there with them. It's hard work. I don't know how they do it. So let's talk through the standings. I'm just going to rattle off the top 16 because that's really all that matters.
Oh, top 16, all of them?
Well, that's what matters, right?
Okay.
Tyler Reddick's leading. He's currently on 484 points, so he's well up the road. Denny Hamlin in second, 374. Ryan Blaney, third, 344. He's just, again, same, always solid, isn't he? Chase Elliott in fourth. Ty Gibbs in fifth. Kyle Larson sixth. Chris Buescher in seventh. Again, having a solid year there for RFK. Carson Hocevar has gone up 4 spots. He's now in P8 with his win. Christopher Bell is ninth. Brad Keselowski is 10th. William Byron's 11th. He's having a bit of a shocking year so far. Bubba Wallace is 12th. He was second, so Bubba's dropped a lot. Ryan Preece in 13th. Daniel Suarez 14th. Joey Logano 15th. And Austin Cindric in 16th. And our man Shane, I'll tell you where he is. He's 19th.
Yep. Yeah, Bubba now is, 208 points off his teammate. So he'll be devastated. I mean, the Toyotas are actually starting to get spread pretty thin. They haven't had the best run, really. Considering how competitive they've been, because you've got Denny P2 and Tyler P1. But then, Ty Gibbs having a pretty solid run, actually, BP5. He's actually down 4 spots after the weekend, but I think that's pretty decent, though. And then the next Toyota is 9th, which when they're talking about the parity being in favour of the Toyota at the moment, for Seabell to be 9th, it's more obviously a bad run. Because in terms of laps led, Seabell has led 303 laps. Yeah. So he's actually led 102 more laps than Tyler Reddick.
Yeah.
He's like, I mean, Danny's had a ridiculous amount of laps led, 603.
Yeah, you're going to have luck of the draws, aren't you?
Yeah.
Like where you've ended up finishing, because it's like, especially on the speedways, they can have such a dominant day. You say like Danny or Larson could go and lead 200 laps in the day, and then 10 laps from home they get wiped out or something.
Yeah, yep.
Which is kind of like I think Seabell's had kind of that year. His result, like where he is not showing how good he is or how fast that car is.
For sure, yeah, yep. Shane has popped in our chat, Shane Spence, 55 mile an hour. So that must be pit lane speed.
So what's that, 90 or
just
something?
out of curiosity.
Yep.
Just shy of 100 Ks, but to be specific, I'm assuming that's the pit lane speed. So thank you for that. Cassandra, we both talked about it. Shane's dog, what a threat. They made him put it back on the lead and he took a dump on the grass in the infield at Dega.
Old Ron dog, old big Ronald. What a specimen. He went on the plane too, which was funny. Like, imagine sitting next to Shane and Ronald on the plane.
It'd be the worst.
It'd be funny as I'd love it.
Just two big rock apes right next to you.
Don't call Ronald a rock ape.
Yeah, true. But yeah, it is wild that they can do that. Now, Cletus McFarland, we'll keep this one short. It's just, I just wanted to pretty much, like, it is wild the marketing ability this guy has to the point where Arca actually used his alter ego name. His name's Garrett. But they used Cletus in the leaderboard on the charts for the race, which I thought was crazy. They got everyone's last name and then they get to P6 and they use Cletus, just knowing that everyone knows this guy as Cletus. So that's going to be the biggest, the most well-known name. Yep. Sound check. Carson came, he was celebrating in the pit lane. If you haven't seen it, go watch Cletus's YouTube video. It had 1 million views in one day. He's got 4.7 million subscribers on YouTube. But the way he did the content was really good. Started with his little ad read, but he made it fun. But on the ad read, I screenshot this because this blew me away. His sponsor for the weekend, they coordinated the launch of his sponsor's product that weekend. And they sold 10,000 bottles in 30 hours. Correct. And then they said that their plant is already producing more, so they're still available. Yeah, crazy to think. Like, that's where they're just printing money. So if he can integrate a sponsor that well, I mean, the sponsor's going to throw cash at him, do whatever he wants. So if he can actually get half decent, you've said it, we could actually one day see him on the grid at Daytona or Dega in the Cup Series.
I'm saying within 3 years, we will see Cletus McFarland lined up on the grid at Daytona 500. I 100% think that will happen.
It's insane. Mick D has just put in there 105,000 watching Cletus live, 105,000 viewers. And then I love that Carson was in the lane celebrating as he was coming to the flag. Like the whole last lap in the YouTube video, they've got Carson watching the big screen. Very creative the way I do a lot of editing myself, and like I appreciate when someone, it's raw editing, but the way he told the story, you got to see it from onboard, exterior, and then the lane, not at the same time. It went back to each, so you'd see the finish, then go back and see it from a different perspective, and then go back and see it from Carson's in the pit lane. And when Carson ran up to him, he actually said, "You might actually win." He said, "You might actually win one. Like, you're actually going to be fine at this." Like, he was shocked, but he's like, "You might actually win one of these. I think you're going to be fine at this." So I think it's changing people's mind, even his mates. The fact that I think it was the way he finished, the way he saved down the bottom, which as a driver, you know, the only way to save it like that is when you're a little bit more relaxed on the wheel than he was earlier in some of the Truck Series races where he's lost it by overcorrecting. So I think it'd be pretty cool to see him actually make enough progress to make a start in the Cup Series.
Well, the thing is now too, he's always had a big following, but now there's genuine interest from people within the industry because he's gone and ran half okay.
Yeah.
Now they'll go, well, actually, I wonder what he can do. Like, it will become a fun experiment for some people that will start offering him some drives or give him some testing miles or whatever, and knowing that he's going to bring millions and millions of eyeballs. Yeah. You can't be crazy not to. Like, if you were a team owner, like, as an example, if you were Justin Marks. Yeah. I'd be like, cool, dude, I'm going to go run you in a truck for the season next year, and you just bring some of your sponsors along. Yeah. And, like, because it's going to obviously help Trackhouse or whoever it is that's going to run the team. Like, why wouldn't you? And I don't have a problem with it. Like, half the people that race cars are just from wealthy families and they can afford to test, and that's why they reach the pinnacle. So why should we have a problem with a guy who worked really hard at creating his own brand? Yeah. He's self-made, like he has made this himself. So yes, he's not been racing since he's young, but he might not have had the support from a family that could have afforded to do it. Yeah. He's found another way, another means to actually do it. So why should we have a problem with that? I think it's... And he's going to run where he's going to run though. So like he can still be out there. And if he runs, let's say he goes and does trucks. Yep. there's no problem with that. If he goes and runs well, awesome. If he goes and runs 10th or 15th, who cares?
Yeah, yep.
Like, it's not affecting anyone. He'll run where he deserves to run based on his ability.
Yeah.
But him allowed to be there or him finding the funding to do it is awesome, I think.
And he didn't get the support he needed to, the licenses to run the big tracks. But I think it is a good thing to force him to stay in ARCA on those tracks for a little bit longer and runs like he had on the weekend.
Yeah.
I think that save more than the second place, the save coming to the line that he had, shows if he continues to do things like that, he's not a hazard on the racetrack. Even his run, that last lap, he went from like two or three rows back and had a run. And I love the spotter. He's like, just go wherever they're not. And he just started picking gaps and just hauling ass. So, I think that if he can do that, they'll probably start to change their opinion on him and they'll see, like, NASCAR is supporting him anyway. So they're going to want him involved. They're going to want him there more than they would want to stop it, for someone else that might be a bit of a hazard still.
Oh, how many T-shirts is he going to sell on the weekend?
Oh, fuck.
And they'll still charge him to have his hauler there, so they're going to love it.
Yeah. I'd like to know his merch numbers, actually.
Oh, I reckon it'd be crazy.
Now, we are going to do a few fan memos.
Yeah, great. We haven't done it for a little while, Scotty. We had a couple of members recently say, hey, we still doing memos or what?
Yeah.
So we said, bloody oath we are. Let's fire them up.
Something up today, and we had a whole heap come through as well, so we've just grabbed a few of the last ones from the day. So we'll kick it off with, this one's from Toasty Trev. This is from Inbreds and Supercars Threads.
Beautiful.
All right, kids. Tasty Trev here. Big question. Who's the real V8 supercar GOAT? Jack Smith or David Thixton? Would like to know your thoughts, dickheads. Tasty Trev out.
Thexton. Fun fact, my first SATA that we did was in a David Thexton tribute livery.
Was it?
Real GOAT. Serious question. Who's the GOAT of touring car racing in Australia? Obviously go beyond supercars. The greatest touring car driver of all time, Elliot. Who is it?
Oh. This is my personal opinion. I'm going to say Jim Richards because of his versatility.
I really don't know. I'm like, I don't even want to say this one because everyone.
Say it.
I think it's J-Dub for me.
Yeah, supercar era.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
And I know, like, he didn't. I just think everyone's just going to shit can me and say that I chose him because he's my boss.
No, supercar era. I'm saying J-Dub because people argue Scaife and things like that, but there was massive difference between teams and cars.
Yeah.
J-Dub was probably the last to win that many championships when it was really tight.
Yeah. Yeah. I look at it like, as well, I know we didn't get to see him do other things, but I also like the focus to do one thing.
Well, he did do some stuff, not a lot. He did like GT stuff.
Yeah.
112 hour and shit.
But, like, I appreciate, like, what I appreciate about what he achieved was to win over so long, like so many times, like 120-something races is pretty crazy to win. The 7 championships is obviously one thing, but it's also against, like, Scotty Mack and that, like, I think he won against a lot of good people, but also, maybe had he done a lot of other things or, like, Marcus Ambrose is one that didn't race for very long. So I'm not just choosing him because he raced the longest, but I think the ability to turn up every Sunday like Will Power, like I put Will in that category that's like raced against heaps of other people, but keeps turning up on a Sunday better than he was Saturday. And the work ethic to do that is really difficult and not get frustrated with the organisation or get over it. Like, I think there's something in that. Like, because most people win and then they get the shits, they get too big for the sport and they want to leave. Yeah. Whereas J-Dub just kept going, no, I want to like win every day in a supercar while I can. And he just kept doing it.
Yeah. Same as Denny Hamlin, 20 years in NASCAR.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like people like that. They say Will Power, Denny Hamlin, win cup. There's guys that can turn up for 20 years and be awesome for a really long time.
Good question, though. Let us know. Who do you think's the GOAT motors in touring cars? Doesn't have to be just supercars. Dave.
G'day, Scotty. Barbs. No sound check at the moment. That'll have to wait for a couple of hours till after work.
It's a good call.
Some time ago, there was talk about an Asian summer series. Has there been any more talk about that? Is this something that is even a remote possibility of ever actually happening? In my mind, I can see this really cool summer series event, nighttime, made for television, direct broadcast. Potentially could be a very good event, run on a similar format to what you guys saw last weekend, the Speedway style, a couple of heat races, B main, A main, could be all over in a couple of hours. Would be great evening TV in between that summer football finishing and summer cricket kick-off sort of period. Love your work, guys. Keep it up. Cheers.
Appreciate it, Dave. What do you reckon, Bubs?
It's about an Asia summer series working. that well, just because like financially, and then most of the fans are in Australia or New Zealand, so they're probably not going to go there. But I think that's where there's a space for things like WSA Short Track Nationals to fill that void over summer and get supercar guys and girls or whoever wants to come and race them to come and do that sort of stuff, and then help promote the lower levels as well. Like what we're seeing on the weekend with the Tier 2 driver event, there's like 7 or 8 supercar people in it.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
So, but I mean...
The Asia Series, though, I think it's gone quiet. So Warburton was obviously a big pusher in that, and he was saying it was going to happen, but... I
went to KL, remember, all those years ago and did the demo?
Yeah, but you know, he did that announcement saying we're pushing back into Asia this year. Like that's where he wanted to start to focus. And I was like, I don't think that's gone anywhere really. I think it's...
Well, he's gone, so...
Yeah. But I also think, and this could be wrong, this is just total speculation, but I'd heard that Race had refinanced part of the business to try and fund supercars again. So, I mean, we probably need to focus. I mean, that could be... It's the only thing is hearing it made me think we probably do need to focus more on...
Nail it here before we go abroad.
Yeah. And I hope that's not true. I mean, hopefully it's not, but nail it here first. We've obviously, I mean, we are like, I think we're like 5 events below what we need to be sustainable to actually compete against other categories that we are competing against.
Definitely work can be done here before we go abroad.
Yeah. So I don't know, mate. Haven't heard any updates.
Good question, though. Thank you.
Jed.
Hey, fellas. Got a question for you. I saw all the Short Track Nationals videos. It looked like an awesome run event. As someone who has majority run MA throughout my career, how was the first of the Marcus Ambrose, like the rebuilt WSA, for lack of a better term? How'd you guys find it? It looked like it was run awesome. I saw Paul Morris made a post saying some good things. So, yeah, just give us a bit of insight into that because it looked like a sick weekend.
Crushed it. I think we kind of touched on it during the podcast, but might have been prior to... No, we did, crushed it. I think that taking some big risks on huge changes, and I did say, like in our pre-show with Marcus, we had a chat, I said, I'm sure there's things you'll look back at the end of the year and you might scrap and you might keep. But I just think, like anything, we have to take some big risks, and I think they're doing it to try and move motorsport in the direction we have to here in Australia. And part of the subscription stuff too was to gain international audiences so that we can actually start to, even at that level, attract American brands so they can advertise here. Because of streaming, where we've said it a bunch of times, you're not competing domestically. So Marcus has a big focus on trying to generate an international audience for these types of races because they're similar cars, like the Legends that Shane races, the same as what's out here. And then the drivers would have the opportunity to do that, so to gain American sponsors. So I think that's a big push. Yeah, the rolling starts and everything, I think that's good to take the risk because you got some feedback on that at the start, which was not positive. The yellow card system, never seen something like that before in motorsport in Australia, and I think that's really good. Seemed like it created a bit of a play-on mentality. Judicial system that's filled with ex-race car drivers that actually know what it's like to be in the situation was good. Yeah,
well, there's 2 supercar guys up. Well, actually, including Marcus, was 3 supercar guys up in the tower calling the shots.
Totally different event.
Like, where do you see that? I think just like the easiest way for people to understand too is Marcus doesn't need to be doing. He's got other businesses and other interests, but he's doing it because he wants to. And man, like we sat up in the hamburger at SMP and watched him. God, he's passionate. Like he is on everything, and he's super passionate about it. So he's just trying to make it awesome for the competitors. And I think, from my point of view, we said we would have happily ditched the microphones and rocked up with their helmets and raced because it looked awesome.
Well, actually, Traymon's just popped in as well. Generate international audiences and maybe have some internationals come race it too. This is the type of car like you could get for 40 or 50 grand prize money. I mean, Larson comes out and races the sprint car in the off-season.
Part of his plan.
He 100% could have those drivers here. And then you do have, like that's what he said to me about getting the American brands sponsoring.
Yeah. Marcus is, I know Marcus has been talking to American drivers, whether it be Speedway, NASCAR, about trying to come over and doing some short. So that's 100% what he's trying to achieve, because they're looking for places to come race in their off season. Because it's winter in our summertime in America, obviously. So
imagine if we can get Cletus McFarland and Carson out here to run a car race together as mates.
It's probably not that far fetched, to be honest, with what's happening with the way they're doing the short track nationals and how they're running the events, and with the money that they're getting. Like, to be able to give back, they could easily. It's like what we saw with Jason Pride brought Larson over to the high ball at Perth to run the Speedway. Yeah. Like, we're starting to see a bit of that stuff happen. So
what about driver's briefing? Now, the joke is in supercars, we used to Dave Reynolds and a few others, we'd all run, like you'd run a stopwatch and joke about how fast the driver's briefing would be because it's a complete waste of time. It's like some of them would be 2 minutes long. Like we'd literally walk in and we'd take guesses at how long this one would go for. And it was always like less than 4 minutes, but minimum 2, so somewhere in between. And they were just like, nothing. And if you did raise a question, I remember once I got told, I was like it was at Sydney Motorsport Park and I was trying to pressure, like trying to find out more information. And I got told it's not the time or place for these types of questions. I was like,
driver's briefing.
And I even said,
when is?
I'm great at biting my tongue. And I remember saying like, well, when is the fucking right time? Like we're literally all in a room together talking about the rules of the weekend. Like when do I ask about the rules of the weekend at a better time? When is a better time than this? And I promptly got told to shut up. So, but I laughed because Marcus has went for about 30 minutes and he even did updated drivers briefings across the weekends because
he did an extra one. So and that was so they knew it was coming, but also to gather feedback because it's all on the fly.
I was laughing because we said to Paul, film it for our Patreon so you can show some behind the scenes. Poor Paulie, his biceps were about to explode because he's holding the camera. Yeah. I thought, it's a briefing. It'll go for 5 minutes.
Yeah, no.
28 minutes later, Paulie's standing there with his hands shaking, holding the camera. The poor bloke, I said to him at the end, he goes, fucking hell, my arms are killing me.
Yeah, the tripod.
But yeah, just little things like that. Like there's actually there's a lot going on at those events and the drivers seem to be prepared to be a little bit open-minded too. They know that the judicial system's going to be a bit flexible at the start. They're looking at changing format as well for qualifying.
Yeah. I think everyone's open to change too, which is good. So like Marcus said over the weekend, if there's feedback that you don't like something, we'll review it.
Yeah.
And if we need to change it, we'll change it. So yeah, for a first round, it was awesome. I think it'll be a good thing.
Robert Northway, give this one a go.
Hey boys, Rob here from little old New Zealand.
Robbie?
Got a couple of points I want to throw at you guys. First one, it was freaking epic to have the supercars in little old Christchurch. So good for me not have to travel for the first time in my life to see top level international motorsport. And I'll tell you what, turn 4, pothole, that looked a bit boring on TV to me. When you're there in person, they are absolutely out of control. And I'll tell you something, I've never seen cars take the curb of that corner. Every other class of car avoids that curb like the plague. So it's interesting seeing them mount the curb and fly through it. The main point I want to bring up to you and just throw an idea out to you guys is around the problem with F1 at the moment, especially that 50-50 power split that people will keep on moaning about. Now, I don't believe that's the real issue. Peak LMP1 hybrid from like a decade ago, they were essentially the same. Maybe not quite 50-50, but 600 horsepower from the internal combustion, around 400 to 500 from the electric. Yet, when they reached their top speeds, once they ran out of electric, they didn't start slowing down. They kind of just got to their max speed really early on the straight and held it. Like at Le Mans, they were getting to 330 about a quarter of the way down the straight, and then they just wouldn't drop. So it tells me there should be a way of fixing this without causing issues. And the other thing I think would make it way more interesting with the current generation of Formula One cars, take the hybrid deployment away from an algorithm and give it to the driver. Make these drivers choose when they want to deploy it, when they want to save it. Make it in the hands of the driver. I'll tell you what, just about every fan will enjoy it more and it will feel less fake because the drivers are in control. What's your thoughts on that idea? Cheers, boys. Love the podcast. Keep up the good work. Ciao.
Thanks, mate. I think you nailed it there.
I think you should be on the podcast. You should be there.
I think you should be calling the shots of Formula One is what I'm saying. Send your resume. I totally agree with you. Drivers should be controlling most of the outcome once you hit the track.
Yeah.
So
yeah, appreciate that message, mate. I mean, there's some switched on fans out there, switched on fans out there. I mean, it's 100% just the main takeaway is to put whatever they do to put the control back in the driver's controls in their hands. And I think that's what Martin Brundle was saying too. Like your right foot should be controlling when you overtake and when you don't. But yeah, it is interesting what you mentioned about the LMP cars because it's a good point. I mean, the deceleration's the biggest problem. Like we even said if the peak speed was lower and it just... then
that's fine.
That's fine.
It's the whole...
It's the decel that looks shit. Like, actually talking to my barber, he's a big fan of Formula One. He was saying, like, I wonder what speed they'll be doing at the end of the straight at Baku. Like, what could a Formula One car with that much downforce and drag, what would the top speed of a 500 horsepower engine or whatever it is be? Wouldn't be very fast.
No, I wouldn't have thought
like
so.
They're doing 269 or something at the end of going into the last Suzuka.
And they're still quite a big and heavy car too. So, yeah.
So, yeah, it would be funny. Next one. Anyway, good question. Good comment, Robert. Thank you very much, mate. Greg.
Hey guys, Greg here, long-time fan of the Apex. Thoughts on seeing as they were changing everything up for the Supercar Series, with the finals. I'm a big ice hockey fan as well, and my thoughts are, rather than have where they get like a 5-second, 10-second penalty, wouldn't it be great if there was a switch or a button that the guys up in control could press and say if someone did something wrong for the next 3 laps, they're like in the sin bin, they've only got 400 horsepower as opposed to the 600 horsepower. That way, they could keep racing, they could keep trying to defend, and, it'd be just spice it up with something a little bit different. But, rather than just have a 5-second or 10-second penalty, of course, you might have to do that if it's in the last lap or so. But, if you can lower their horsepower for about 3 or 4 laps, well, it'll certainly spice things up for guys out there. Anyway, that's my thoughts. Love the show. Keep it up. And, look forward to our next podcast.
Appreciate it, Greg. I mean, it would spice things up a bit, but I think having
like when you go to the high carts and you're playing around, they cut your motor on you.
Yeah, but they do it to everyone.
I reckon when he said ice hockey, I thought he was going to say you should be able to come in the pit lane and punch shit out of each other. I was going to go yes on that one. But.
Yeah, that would be good. That one would be good fun. No, look, you can't have this. We're talking about with Formula One, the speed difference. And imagine at Adelaide, you go through the staircase and you got a driver that's got 250 less horsepower than you trying to link through,
accidents.
And they're going to try and block. It'd cause monumental shunts. It just would be, and especially imagine coming over the top of the hill at Bathurst. You're in 5th gear unsided and there's a car with 250 less horsepower than you doing 100 k's an hour less on a blind corner. You'd severely hurt someone.
Not a bad thing in theory. Just it probably wouldn't play out too well in the practical scenario, I reckon.
Well, on that though, Dean has added, if the track had the ability, so Dean's added, what about a long lap penalty like DTM do?
I was just going to say a joker lap would be a cool way of doing it.
A joker lap would be a real cool way of doing it.
Yeah, and it has to have a jump in it.
Yeah, and then the sin bin where they can fight. But yeah, that question, I mean, it's sparked. There you go. Maybe a long lap penalty could be fun.
I like it.
Hello, Hunters. G'day, Scotty. G'day, Barbs. Ardo here, long-time listener, first-time caller. Hey, look, I saw Supercars this week put out the onboard footage from the Yas Marina circuit, and it got me thinking, we used to see a few international races, Bahrain, Yas Marina, obviously. Scotty, I'm pretty sure you're at the last one, the Austin 400 around Coda. And look, we see other Aussie sports like the NRL, they head to Vegas now for their opening round. So my question is, do you think there is a chance we could ever see Supercars go back to somewhere like Yas Marina for a proper season opener under the lights? No offense to SMP, but, really try and put Supercars back on the stage, grow the sport, get some international viewers. Keen to hear your thoughts. Keep up the good stuff. Keep hunting.
We should not go back international. We just don't have the money. It just costs the sport way too much money, I think, especially when we have the likes of Gold Coast, which could be an international event, again, with no more cost to what we're already doing there. That should be a 600 weekend with 2 drivers,
Gold Coast
one
should be
being international, with international races. Yeah, but then I see why they don't, because they said you lose the ability to see the beach and everything. That's why they don't, because it takes away from it being gold. It'd be cool for the atmosphere.
One of the races
but
could
it
be
kills TV. They said that you don't see the beach because it's just black, which does make sense. I get that. But it'd still be cool, but that's why
I reckon we could try it. But yeah, I personally, as a fan, I used to enjoy watching, and I watched the JC on board that they put out during the week.
Yeah.
I used to like watching supercars on different tracks that we haven't seen before. But yeah, from a business point of view, I completely agree that I just think we need to button things up here. And yeah, if we want international, then I'd much rather them see them do another enduro. And they do what they used to do at Goldie and bring the internationals in. I think that would serve that purpose and probably not cost as much.
You could even do, remember we did Townsville doubleheader because it's a hybrid track. Half its setup doesn't have much impact on the infrastructure for the town. But Townsville as an international, so you do one round as the main game and then the following is an international round with a different format. And you have internationals come and drive, because you literally would have Formula One drivers come out and do it, and that would boost the profile again, I think, as well. And also it worked well because the internationals were usually in the car against other internationals, so it's still a good quality race. It wasn't like forcing them to go against the main game guys. Bathurst is almost the worst idea for an international because they're just going to get smoked, no matter who they are almost. Kevin Estre, he did a mega job. but it's bloody hard if you're like up against mains and things.
He was really strong at Sandown, but Bathurst he struggled a little.
Right.
He's still great, but compared to, I see what you're saying. But
unfortunately, I do think the international ones are hard to go back to. I would love it. I agree. Bloody cool. And like Texas was sick. It's one of the best races I've done. But I think financially, like if you went to America, you got to go at least a couple of rounds over there.
You can't do the one. I think if you like what they've worked that out even with going to New Zealand now. We've got to do back-to-backs or at least 2 rounds while the gear's over there to justify the cost. So,
18 to 20 events here in Australia first.
Scotty, Barbs, love the pod. Nice little thing to put on while I'm working. It's really, really good. Just gets me through the work day and keeps us sort of current with, supercars, F1, NASCAR. I mean, I watch F1 supercars, but not so much NASCAR. Just curious, what other stuff do you guys get into? Anything two-wheeled, GP / motocross? Do you also get into like WEC stuff as well? I mean, I know it's a lot to juggle, but I guess like even WRC, even for that matter. Like I know you mentioned it last year on the best motorsport athlete for last year, but just sort of like how closely do you sort of follow it and get into it? Keep up the good work. Hope to see you in a supercar soon, Barbs. Banging wheels with Scotty. And good luck for Enduros this year, Scotty. Thanks, boys.
Cheers, mate. That's Alexander. Thank you, mate.
Thanks, mate.
What about you, mate? I mean,
I think both Scotty and I, we're both just motorsport fans in general, so we kind of keep across most forms of motorsport, but to actually, it's like, not to sound like it's hard work, but it does take a bit of time just to cover what we cover now. I don't know
do it properly.
I don't know if I would have the capacity to throw too much more on the plate, but we are across things. We watch, highlights of MotoGP, we'll watch a bit of WRC, we will watch most things, but to do a proper segment on it, it'd probably be pretty half-assed from my point of view.
Yeah, I agree as well. I don't think, and there's pods out there that do great jobs of all those. So I don't want to. We literally talk about what we are passionate about and what we're interested in, and then if we were to do extra stuff, because we get a lot of requests of like, why don't you talk about this, X, Y, Z? But then I don't think we do the justice to that sport anyway. So I think go watch another pod that focuses on MotoGP. Like us doing a 10-minute segment or a 20-minute segment on MotoGP, I don't think is that much value to everyone. I think what we do is we try and focus on NASCAR, Formula 1 and supercars.
I want to be specialist.
And then IndyCar.
Yeah, we do the odd pop-in of IndyCar.
But NASCAR, F1 and IndyCar and supercars, supercars, we love it. Like we generally watch all of it. We don't miss a race. Formula 1 as well. It's always like since I was 7 years old, I've been addicted to that. And then you with NASCAR has got me into that almost as much. So, but a Monday morning, when you actually say we're doing a Tuesday pod and there's been F1, NASCAR and supercars on, it's a lot of content from even the weekend, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday when supercars are on. Watch every practice and quality and stuff, which is great, but you got to make sure that you don't miss anything. And then every Monday morning, get up and read motorsport.com. And then I do a pod as well with Murph now most Mondays, which is a motorsport recap show in New Zealand called Late Breaking for Sky. And just prepping for that even, like it's a lot, isn't it? So
and then you throw a job on top of that.
Yeah. So full-time in an IT recruitment company. So yeah.
If I had to watch on the weekends where there's the 3, like Monday night and stuff in my lunch break, I'm just trying to absorb as much as I can because I know Tuesday night we're in here doing it. So it is hard work. I'd hate to throw something else on top for fear of not doing it justice.
That's why, out of curiosity for people too, we run a document on my phone, on our phone, but on slides that we both see. And that's where we put all of our notes of everything and we try and structure it in an order that flows for the podcast too. But because it's actually hard to remember everything in chronological order of what happens. So just making notes while the events are on and then chucking it into a document helps us run the show. If you do have questions or if there's something we've missed even, pop it in the comments. The fan memos are great. We're going to start doing this more so that even at the end, we can just chuck a few at the end of an episode.
Yep.
We had a lot come in today. I only posted it today, but there's a lot. So we'll try and do them more regularly so that we can get everyone's in.
Yep.
But yeah, don't be afraid to comment below what your thoughts are, what you enjoy, and we'll try and keep an eye on it. Couple bangers in there. Who got the best burnout? Who's your favourite supercar or touring car driver in history? And then who's your favourite host on Apex Hunters United?
Well, that's a good question. That's a tough question.
That's divisive, isn't it?
Well, give us your comments. Let's see what we got.
I feel like you're the fan. You don't upset anyone.
I could be out of a gig real quick. You might go, oh, God, no one actually likes Elliot. I can get someone else now.
What if it's me, though?
No, it won't be.
You're like, Scott, you're just editing my podcast now. Thanks.
We need you, mate. Show wouldn't run without you.
Please subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, Hunters.
Cheers, guys.